Vincent van Gogh was 37 years old when he shot himself, and that was very young. And if he would have lived another 40 years, he would have produced a huge body of work. He was very prolific. But because of an underlying mental illness, which that's the way it appears, that he had an underlying mental illness, he shot himself. What was the mental illness that he had? It's hard to say. It looks like it was probably bipolar, and maybe he had one of the personality disorders, something like that. But if he would have been on medication and his mental illness was treated, he could have produced all this work. Now, the flip side to this, I don't believe. And the flip side would be this. People say that if he was treated with medication, then his work wouldn't have been as intense. Oh, it's bullshit. That sounds like somebody, there's still this stigma about taking medications. I've taken them in the past. I don't care if somebody knows. I've taken stuff for depression. And a lot of people think that if you take something for depression, you're weak-minded or something. You've got to be kidding me. Abraham Lincoln had depression. He would have had a much happier life if he would have been on medications. Medications are effective for treating depression. They are. They have a wide variety of medications that they can use for stuff like schizophrenia. You know, as far as the personality disorders go, there really isn't anything that they can give people that have personality disorders, and it's quite possible that he had that too. But he clearly had alcoholism, or at least addiction to absinthe, you know, so there was a lot of problems with Van Gogh. To say that somebody that has mental illness should not take a medication, or if you're mentally ill and you have depression, you should go get it treated. That's definitely the way to go. You can put it into remission, your depression, and you can quite possibly come off of the medications. Now, with that said, if you've had, I'm not a doctor, okay, but if you've had depressive episodes, if you have one and it goes untreated, you're more than likely to have another one. So if you've had two, I believe the statistic is you're 3 times more likely to have another depressive episode. So it's very important that, you know, you just don't go untreated. Back in college, I was depressed. I was really, really depressed. And I remember going to a doctor and I was like, I really wanted to be on some type of medication because I kept thinking about being run over and kept thinking about, you know, I wanted to die and shit like that. I went in there and the guy, he was no help at all. Absolutely no help at all. I think that I had a breakup with a girlfriend that sort of sent me into the depression where I was like, that was a shitty relationship anyway. But the problem is the mind that goes into depression, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with logic. Nothing. It has zero to do with it. And his advice was go get another girlfriend. Really. Clinically depressed, thinking of suicide, and he's telling the 21-year-old to go get another girlfriend. Like it's that easy. I was depressed. You don't want to go get another girlfriend if you're depressed? It's absurd. Van Gogh, if he would have lived another 40 years or even another 20 years, if his shit would have been treated, think of all the work that he could have produced. We were robbed by him killing himself. The work that he produced, it was awesome. It was. But obviously the man was in such pain because of mental illness. He had no other choice but just to do it. Van Gogh. A little bit about Van Gogh. I saw the Van Gogh exhibit in first grade. And that is one of the things that I said. Everything seemed to have happened that was important in my life when I was 5 and 6 years old, where I made a decision of this is what I'm going to do in my life. And one of the things, my mother took me to the Van Gogh exhibit in St. Louis, Missouri, and I saw it. And from that point on, I knew that I was going to be an artist. But I'd also made the decision to be a dog trainer and a comic at that point, too. So all 3 things. So is that arrested development? You betcha. You betcha. I'm the only person that I know that kept his childhood, you know, dreams alive, but I'm doing it, so fuck it. Van Gogh, he should have been on medication.